far-right Israel Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich has announced a major expansion of illegal settlements in the occupied West Bank as he pushes to annex more of the Palestinian territory. Smotrich said on Wednesday that a planning committee had approved the constructions, of which 1,006 units will be in a new illegal settlement near Jerusalem, 922 near the city of Nablus, and 234 near Hebron.
Eusebio, Gary Lineker and Ronaldo, the Brazilian one, the list of World Cup Golden Boot winners reads like a who's who of attacking greats, but no player has ever won the award more than once. This year, 3 stars have a chance to break that streak, although perhaps only 2 of those players have a realistic shot at making history.
North Korea has unveiled a new facility to produce nuclear bomb fuels as leader Kim Jong-un calls for an exponential expansion of his country's atomic arsenal. During a visit to the facility on Thursday, Kim said production capacity for weapons-grade nuclear material was more than double its level of 5 years ago, the state Korean Central News Agency, KCNA, reported.
OpenAI's ChatGPT has crossed 1 billion global monthly active app users, making it the fastest app to reach that milestone based on estimates from market intelligence firm Sensor Tower. The app reached the milestone in May, roughly 3 years after its mobile launch, surpassing the growth pace of major apps such as Google Maps, TikTok, Instagram and YouTube.
The Ministry of Finance and Revenue will release the Pakistan Economic Survey 2025-26 on Tuesday, June 9, 2026, a key pre-budget launch that will provide a detailed assessment of the country's economic performance during the outgoing fiscal year. Federal Minister for Finance and Revenue, Senator Mohammad Aurangzeb, will present the survey, which is expected to outline major macroeconomic indicators, sectoral performance and fiscal trends ahead of the upcoming federal budget.
The value of spectrum is not measured in megahertz, it is measured in the opportunities it creates. That was the central message from Amir Ibrahim, CEO, Jazzworld, during a recent interview with international telecom publication, where he reflected on Pakistan's digital future, the country's recent spectrum auction, and Jazzworld's broader transformation from a traditional telecom operator into a digital services company. Speaking about the role of spectrum in the digital economy, Ibrahim argued that its significance extends far beyond network capacity. According to him, spectrum should be viewed as a national development asset that enables access to education, healthcare, financial services, entrepreneurship and economic participation, particularly in underserved areas. Xiaomi has launched the 17T series in Pakistan, introducing the Xiaomi 17T and Xiaomi 17T Pro with Leica camera systems, large silicon carbon batteries and high refresh rate AMOLED displays. Customers who pre-book either phone will receive a Xiaomi Smart Band 10, a fuel card worth Rs, 5,000 and a 3-month Gemini subscription. Pre-booking runs from May 28 to June 21.
Higher Education Commission, HEC, has issued a public advisory warning students planning to pursue higher education abroad to verify the approved mode of study before enrolling in foreign degree programs. According to the advisory, degrees registered as on-campus or conventional programs but completed entirely through online or blended learning modes will not be recognized by the HEC after spring 2026, unless such arrangements are approved by the relevant regulatory authority in the country where the institution is based.
The race to replace the aging International Space Station is heating up after US company VAST announced a mission to fly an astronaut to its planned Haven 1 station next year. If the repeatedly delayed Haven 1 is launched into orbit as scheduled in early 2027, it will become history's first commercial space station, beating out several competitors.
The Sindh High Court, SHC, on Thursday ordered police to provide protection to a newlywed couple from Yaqubabad whose relatives allegedly torched multiple houses in the groom's village last month in retaliation for their marriage of choice. Hearing an application seeking protection for the couple, Hassan Bariro and Sidra Chana, Justice Salim Jessar issued a written order stipulating that the couple be given protection, directing that the couple's life, honour and property be ensured.
Franco-Iranian author and film director Marjane Satrapi, renowned for her graphic novel and film Persepolis, has died aged 56, a year after the passing of the love of her life. A member of her close circle told AFP on Thursday. Marjane Satrapi died of sadness a little over a year after the death of Matthias Ripper, her husband and the love of her life, they said in a statement sent to AFP.
The man who disarmed one of the alleged perpetrators of the deadly Bondi Beach shooting has been charged with assault. Ahmed Al-Ahmed was hailed as a hero after intervening in the attack at a Jewish event in December, in which 15 people were killed and dozens injured.
In recent weeks, Israel's National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir has shown the world a version of modern Israel it had preferred not to see, from telling the press that he would not allow a United States ceasefire deal with Iran that was bad for Israel to his televised harassment of bound activists of the global Sumud flotilla. Ben-Gvir's actions have drawn outrage on a global stage. Delcy Rodriguez is in India for the first time since she became Venezuela's interim president after democratically elected President Nicolas Maduro was abducted by the U.S. military in January. Energy cooperation, including the supply of Venezuelan oil to India, tops the agenda during her 5-day trip, as leaders in New Delhi look to diversify energy imports amid supply disruptions in the wake of the U.S.-Israel war on Iran.
Monsoon rains have arrived in India's southeastern state of Kerala 3 days late. The meteorological department says the rains typically arrive on June 1 and are critical to India's economic health, enabling farmers to plant cotton, soybeans, sugarcane, rice and corn. The FIFA World Cup begins on June 11. Here are 10 quiz questions before the tournament kicks off in North America. You can follow the action on Al Jazeera's dedicated World Cup 2026 page with all the latest news, match build-up and live text commentary, and keep up to date with group standings, real-time match results and schedules.
Manchester City is considering legal action after Real Madrid presidential candidate Enrique Riquelme said he would sign the Premier League club's Norwegian striker Erling Haaland if elected. Riquelme, a renewable energy entrepreneur challenging incumbent Florentino Perez, made the pledge during an appearance on Spanish television on Wednesday, where he held up a Real Madrid shirt bearing Haaland's name.
When I first opened the box, the Oura Ring 5 comes in. My first thought was, wow, that's tiny. My second thought was that this is a smart ring a lot of people have been waiting for. As someone who got quite used to wearing the Oura Ring 4 ceramic, I was surprised how noticeably smaller and lighter the new Ring 5 is. The South Asia Centre at the London School of Economics and Political Science. London School of Economics and Political Science has invited applications for its postdoctoral visiting fellowship for Pakistani researchers for the academic year 2027 to 28. The programme, run in collaboration with the Charles Wallace Pakistan Trust and the British Council in Pakistan, will allow one selected fellow to spend up to 8 weeks at LSE in London conducting short-term postdoctoral research. Punjab University PU has become the first public sector university to launch an AI chatbot for the public to help students with admissions and other university-related information. The PU Admission Assistant chatbot was inaugurated by Vice-Chancellor Professor Dr. M. Ali during a ceremony attended by Chairman Admission Committee Professor Dr. Mahmood Salim, Dean Faculty of Computing and Information Technology Professor Dr. Shahzad Sarwar, Deans of various faculties and administrative officers.
The National Database and Registration Authority, NRDRA, has expanded its mobile registration services to residential areas of Karachi, making essential identity documentation facilities more accessible to citizens. Officials said a NADRA mobile registration van arrived at the Central Telegraph Office compound on Wednesday, where residents were provided with several services, including computerised national identity cards, CNICs, children's registration certificates, also known as B forms, and other related documentation facilities.
Growing body of research presented at the American Society of Clinical Oncology meeting in Chicago suggests that widely used GLP-1 medications for weight loss and type 2 diabetes may also offer protection against several types of cancer and improve patient outcomes. The studies examined patients using drugs such as semaglutide, Wegovy, Ozempic, Woad, Rybelsus, Tirzepatide, Mounjaro, Zepbound, Trulicity, and other GLP-1 based therapies.
The Punjab government has decided to add 3 new cities to the Medical and Dental College admission test, M-Network, this year, 2026, to make the exam more accessible for students. Mianwali, Laya and Bahawal Nagar will host MDCAT examination centres for the first time. The decision is expected to benefit candidates from remote areas by reducing travel time and related expenses.
Supreme Court, SC, on Thursday dismissed a review petition filed by Zahir Jaffer and maintained its earlier verdict upholding his death sentence in the Noor Muqaddam murder case. Noor, aged 27, was found murdered at Zahir's Islamabad residence in July 2021, with the probe revealing she was tortured by him before being beheaded. Zahir was sentenced to death by a trial in February 2022, and his sentence has already been upheld by the SC once. Prior to that, the Islamabad High Court had also dismissed his plea challenging the trial court's verdict.
India and Venezuela sought to boost their ties in the energy sector on Thursday, with New Delhi saying that Caracas sees it as a preferred partner in the sector at a time when global oil supplies have been disrupted by the Middle East crisis. Venezuela's interim president Delcy Rodriguez is visiting India with a large team of ministers and held talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday. Australia on Thursday won the toss and chose to bat against Pakistan in the third and final one-day international ODI at Lahore's Gaddafi Stadium. On Tuesday, an understrength Australia shocked Pakistan by 41 runs in the second ODI in Lahore, levelling the 3-match series 1-1, with fast bowler Nathan Ellis taking a career-best 4-wicket haul.
French-Iranian artist, author and women's rights activist Marjane Satrapi, the illustrator behind the graphic novel memoir Persepolis, has died at 56. A statement from the Élysée Palace announcing her death Thursday lauded Satrapi's work, saying her work captivated a global audience.
Last month, 40-year-old Emma O'Neill, a black Irish woman, was racially insulted 3 times. Teenagers in her town south of Dublin shouted, "Go back to your country!" at her. She was rudely asked by a man whether she spoke English, and she was called the N-word at a local pub, all in the space of 2 weeks.
Social media giant Meta has hit out at Australia's latest plans to force digital platforms to support media outlets financially, labelling the proposals poorly designed and grossly unfair. Meta, the parent company of Facebook, WhatsApp and Instagram, said on Thursday that the government's news bargaining incentive, NBI, would shield news publishers from needing to undertake the innovation necessary for a sustainable media landscape.
Semaglutide, the active ingredient in Ozempic and Wegovy, may slow some molecular signs linked to biological aging, according to a randomized, placebo-controlled clinical study involving adults with HIV-associated lipohypertrophy. The study, published in Nature Communications, examined whether the GLP-1 drug affected epigenetic clocks, which estimate biological aging by tracking DNA methylation patterns. The work analysed data from a previous clinical trial of 108 adults, while the epigenetic analysis included paired DNA methylation data from 84 participants.